Davis against Bobby Hurley, the coaching matchup then. Same starting lineup for Central Michigan and Buffalo from their previous 2 games. Ready to jump it up. Our officials, Tim Stewart, Scott Seville, and Jeff Spadowski. And here we go in Mount Pleasant. Kevin Miller runs the show for the Chippewas. He's been in double figures 8 of his last 11. Miller along the baseline. The runner is up and down.
Kevin Miller, a guy that has seemed to get better night after night, especially here in conference play, starting to play like that player Tony Barbie thought he could be when he brought him here to Mount Pleasant.
Nearly had a triple-double on Tuesday with 21, followed up with 18 on Thursday against Western. Seguin straight away, a little bit long, but this is where Buffalo thrives, the offensive rebounding. Jonathan Williams out to Jack. And there's the clear out from Pavret.
That's important. Offensive rebound for CMU. They give one up, but doesn't turn into points. The more empty second chance opportunities you can have, the longer you're going to be able to stay alive here against Buffalo.
The Saints attacks. Left it a little short, and Pavret going over the top. There's the head coach, Jim Whitesell. He took over for Nate Oates. Now in his 3rd year, was a longtime assistant for Oates. Hired back in 2019. Spent time at Loyola Chicago. He has won over 430 games in his career. And the first-year head coach, Tony Barbie, they started 1-10 with a brutal non-conference schedule. And now they've rattled off 3 in a row. This team's starting to gel, Matt.
Yeah, I think this was the first real look at Central Michigan because they played a stacked non-conference schedule against some top 25 opponents, and they also dealt with COVID throughout their program. So they're now finally healthy and all back on the floor.
Mbala, the transfer from Texas Tech, a little bit long, tapped around, and Mbala's going to get hit with his first.
And Josh Mbala is a senior out of France and 6'7", with some size. He's a matchup problem for the Chippewas. He picks up an early foul. Have to keep an eye on that. You don't want him to check out of the game early if you're Buffalo.
How about the 2 native countrymen? The French battling inside for both teams. Taylor gets his first. Mbala taking on Pavret. Pavret from Lyon. And Mbala from Bordeaux. Good start for CMU. Well, Buffalo has started chilly from the floor. Mbala ends the drought with a nice hook.
And that's what he can do. That zone defense, I'm interested to see how Buffalo attacks it. Mbala's gotten a couple touches early. We've had a 3-ball from the outside as well. Got to keep an eye on that because it's caused teams fits here in conference play, this zone defense from Tony Barbie.
Miller takes the 3 and makes the 3. 5 of the first 7 for the freshman out of Chicago. Mbala, a little bit long, but gets the hop.
They've beaten that press easily, especially that time down the floor. Near side pass into the corner, and then Mbala's there again.
Cam Healy on the quick triggers. He'll take a 2 and make the 2. CMU knocking down everything.
I think the word is out on Kevin Miller and Cam Healy. They are the 2-headed scoring attack. Some good support pieces as well, but evidenced by that win against Western Michigan, both had big nights.
And that comes out from Mbala. Boy, Central Michigan, they don't look like a team that's played 3 games in 5 days. They've come out with a jump in their step. Basaint open. Pavret looking for the board and pulled down by Maceo Jack. Jack going to go all the way, and a foul. Looks like Taylor the reach-in.
Well, in getting ready for this matchup today, Adam, you and I have been talking for the last day or so, and that was something that you would be bringing up from time to time, and I tried to push back a little bit and say, well, sometimes when you're winning, it doesn't matter how many games you've played. This is very similar to NCAA tournament schedule right now. You win, you get a day off, you got to play again. And sometimes when you're playing good basketball, there aren't enough games in a row on the calendar. You just want to get back on the floor and keep playing.
Yeah, and for Buffalo, after 2 tough losses, Toledo, and then they home against Ohio, just really didn't look good in that game. Even though Ohio is best in the conference, They had to sit and wait 8 days before they get back out on the floor.
Yeah, imagine going to practice every day with Coach Weitzel for 8 days after back-to-back losses. I'm sure these guys were ready to play against somebody other than themselves.
Absolutely, and they are down 9-6 to start this game after a couple of free throws from Maceo Jack. His mom and the women's Buffalo team came in here and took down Central Michigan in the first game today of the doubleheader. Step back, Miller is feeling it. Perfect from the floor, and he's got 7 early points. Kevin Miller's confidence level right now at an all-time high, and he is showing it this week. Corner three, and Williams drains it. His first three, the leading scorer for the Bulls.
Well, big response because the Chippewas are off to a really good start on their home floor, and you don't want to let the record fool you at 5-13. They're playing good basketball, and I think the Bulls knew that coming in. They would need to be ready to go from the jump.
Miller had it knocked away, it looked like, but Mbala reached in. That's going to be number 2 on the senior. Ticky-tacky at the top. Mbala with his second. Kevin Miller has come out ready to go, hitting everything. Threes, layups, and a step back 2. CMU in front by 2 early, thanks to number 2.
I came across this house with water dripping from the ceiling. You never know when something like this will happen. So let the Geico Insurance Agency help you with homeowners insurance. Now, if I had to guess, I'd say somewhere upstairs there's a broken pipe.
Bundle and save even more at geico.com.
I think it's just vapor and flavors. It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
The freshman out of Chicago, Kevin Miller. There's the floater, a little step back 3, and the step back 2 as well. And Miller already with 7 points on 3 for 3 from the field.
Yeah, he's off to a really nice start. And the question for me coming in was, how do you deal with Buffalo's firepower? They play really good. They play really good offense, and they rebound the basketball really well. Looked like maybe a foul there on the Cam Hilly 3.
Yeah, Williams made contact at least with something. They say just balls, so we go the other way. Now Nathan Williams will drive, runs over Harrison Henderson, and they don't call anything. Yeah. So officials letting him play.
Kind of had his body out of control. Looked like maybe he could have traveled, but after a couple whistles on Mbala, they let it go.
So 11-11. Harrison Henderson's been coming off the bench. It's been working, so they're sticking to it, but they need big production from him inside. Healy spinning his way to the bucket, but they're going to say he traveled.
And dragged the pivot foot, tried to get around him with the spin move, and just picked up his dribble a little too soon. And maybe it won't be a problem. Maybe it won't be a talking point that Josh Mbala is on the bench with 2 personal fouls. But the reason I continue to highlight is because they went to him twice, back-to-back possessions, and he made 2 buckets.
Curtis Jones is checked in for Buffalo. That's a double dribble. That's on Laquil Hardnett. There is the big fella, Josh Mbala, 6'7", 220. Typically averaging right around a double-double.
He is upset over there on the bench, itching to be back in this ballgame.
He didn't make that flight over here to sit on the bench.
That's right.
And have to wait 8 days to finally get back on the court.
and you're out in 5 minutes.
Maybe that's the reasoning and what can happen when you have to wait 8 days. A little bit too antsy.
Well, and the progression of this first half will determine if Josh Mbala needs to come back in the ball game. If Buffalo seems comfortable staying in the ball game without him on the floor, there's no need to risk him.
One-on-one inside, and it's Skogman that picks up the personal. So CMU building up the fouls and the bigs for Buffalo. And that was one of our keys. Matt, you talked about it in the open. Can you hang with the size of the Bulls? They go from Skogman, and now in comes Brock Bertram. Certainly Mbala the most productive of the three. Healy, quick catch and shoot. Taylor, look at the athleticism. Back to Healy for three. Well, two good looks for Healy, who's a quick shooter. And nothing goes down.
You talk about the bigs for Buffalo. I would characterize Central Michigan's front court as more of a finesse than ground and pound. And a turnover there for Buffalo.
Miro is back for CMU. It's the first time since Youngstown State in the non-con, as he had missed the last 9 games. So they're happy to have him back. Taylor misses the three. Henderson has it in the paint, trying to rip it away. And Bertram gets it. Now it's a loose ball scrum. And finally a tie-up is called. And Buffalo will get it as Central Michigan won the tip. Jim Whitesell and Buffalo wanted a foul, but good hustle from both squads.
He loves the effort. He loves the energy. Diving on the floor like that. Sometimes plays like that early in a ball game can wake everybody up. Start diving on the floor, get dirty, get some energy, and both coaches got to be happy with their guys getting after it.
We've talked about it all year for Tony Barbie. Game 18, and they've had their full allotment of players for just 2. Still don't have Oscar Lopez, one of their other starters, as he's been out. But
Andre Polk.
Yeah, Andre Polk as well. Got to feel good to get Stoffel back in the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. Just provide some of that depth because Nico Pavret and Harrison Henderson have been playing a lot of minutes on the front court.
We get a foul inside on the potential rebound, and that's Bertram. So the fouls continue to collect.
And after a hot start, no points for either group in almost 2 minutes. Defense. We love defense, right?
Buffalo's on a 5-0 run, but it's been 3 minutes. Haven't had any points in a while.
Good defense by Buffalo. They really pack it in when they try and penetrate.
Try to go cross court there to Taylor. Yeah, they move well. And that's what makes them tough. Stoffel tries. And an air ball. And then Harrison Henderson push off. So the bigs inside on both teams. Talk about anxious to be back. Stoffel was excited to get a 3 up there and didn't go his way.
He's taking a few of them in the corner. And I was watching him, and I'm thinking he's not dressed like the other players that are suiting up today are, but he certainly looked like he was moving well. He had been shooting on the floor pregame and postgame the last couple of nights, and you know, he's out there. Good for him.
Did you miss when he came over with the big grin on his face and said, "Hey, I might play today" to us?
I did miss that. I must have been doing something else.
You were preparing.
I was preparing.
Getting ready. There's the senior, Ronaldo Segu. Stand out, the senior out of Orlando, Florida, up over 15 per game, gives Buffalo the lead. Their first lead of the day.
It's a fun little matchup right here. Senior versus freshman. Who's going to get the better of the point guard matchup today between those two?
Couple of 6-footers. Wasn't that long ago Segu came into this league as a true freshman. And a nice first year with the Bulls. Good defensive pressure by the Bulls, making it difficult. And Taylor on the last second drive, going to go to the free throw line. You talked about it, though, Matt, that perimeter defense for Buffalo. They are right up in the grill of the Chippewas.
And that's where the way Buffalo plays defense can get you in trouble a little bit. They are so aggressive and they are so tenacious that sometimes that can be misinterpreted by the opponent and the officiating crew for fouls. So you got to make sure that you're consistent with the way you're playing your defense, but you're also cautious with the way you're playing so you don't end up like Josh Mbala over there on the bench.
You wonder, how does CMU use that to their advantage? Those backdoor cuts come into play when a team like that is so aggressive.
That might come into play for players like Brian Taylor and Cam Healy, guys who can shoot the three really well, run that curl like you're anticipating getting up a shot, and then you make that cut backdoor.
Taylor and the Chippewas continue to shoot it better from the free throw line. He goes 2 for 2, and we are tied for the second time. 13-13, 8 minutes in. Two teams sitting right now, right in the middle of those conference standings with basically a full month to go before the conference tournament. Bruton, little long, and Taylor rips it away from Bertram.
It's exactly what Central Michigan wants to do. They want to force those outside shots.
In transition, the three, good from the corner for Brissain.
I noticed on that last possession, Buffalo, a lot of communication, trying to get on the same page with what they want to do offensively. Zone can cause problems at times when you're able to set up in the half court.
Jones, the penetrating kick. Corner, Bruton again. This one goes down. Spartanburg, South Carolina native, has his first three and his 26th of the year.
Gotta go.
Dylan Juergens into the game, the backup point guard for CMU as as Kevin Taylor gets a rest. Stoffel working with Bertram, and he forces the whistle.
Wow, 5 fouls on the bigs of Buffalo.
Now 2 on Bertram, 2 on Mbala, and 1 on Skogman. The threes are falling, though. We get the triple try from Brissain that goes down. Keyshawn Bruton answers, and we are tied at 16.
Nobody likes an awkward silence. You can actually use it for something good.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Oh, it's family day inside McGurk Arena. Our producer and the man that runs the show in the back, Andrew Gerber. He's got his young kids here, Sydney, Ambry, Bentley, all decked out in Chippewa gear.
Absolutely.
Support Dad, support CMU.
Start them young. Love it.
Double duty today for the crew. Double dip inside McGurk Arena. Both Buffalo teams in town. Bulls won the matchup of the women earlier today, and now the men battling. See if Miro Stoffel, the man out of the Czech Republic, can get his first point in 9 games. 0 for 2, though, at the stripe. Been out with a knee injury.
Good transition defense by the Chippewas. Buffalo trying to run, get a quick, easy bucket. Chippewas were up to the task.
Jones And that's going to be a blocking foul on Juergens as Fagan got in there. Nearly had a chance for 3.
Live, it looks like Juergens is inside, and I think his heels are over that half circle underneath. So that's going to be an easy call for the officials every time.
6 foot 160 against 6'8", 210. Bold man to stand in there. Both teams missing freebies. Kevin Miller back in the game.
One other person that's happy to see Miro Stoffel back is Harrison Henderson. Sometimes he is sucking wind in the second half. I mean, he has been asked to play a lot of minutes on the front court. Nice spell for him every once in a while with Stoffel back.
Bulls continue that full court press. They make it a little challenging, but Miller so good with the basketball. Try to go down low, and that one saved off of Henderson. Great job by Fagan, and it's a turnover back to Buffalo. Harrison Henderson saying he's holding me. The officials not buying it, though, and we go full court press the other way. So each team trying to get a little extended pressure. Chippewas will back off. Saw a low-scoring defensive battle on Thursday between Western and Central. Jack the take and stuffed by Taylor, and here comes Basaint. Juergens in transition. Henderson down low, and it's taken away.
Good hustle by Jack to make that play in transition.
Both teams defending well. Segu into the paint. Hits the cutting Jack, and this time he won't be denied.
Reward the hustle defensive play in transition on the last possession with a free cut down the lane and a slam.
Maceo Jack, the transfer from George Washington, came in for the spring semester. Sat out last year, so playing in year 1 as the graduate. And 10 seconds called on Kevin Miller. Just didn't realize it. Tony Barbie says, give me a timeout. Trying to settle things down. Buffalo 19, Central Michigan 16 with 9:28 to play. And the Bulls doing it with their defensive work. Doing a nice job moving the basketball around offensively.
Yeah, on a little 6-0 run over the last couple of minutes for Buffalo. And this is too easy for the Bulls. Chippewa is going to be asking some questions in that huddle. How did Maceo Jack get so wide open? Jim Whitesell got to be pleased with the effort despite some of the foul trouble to his bigs to be able to hang in with the Chippewa's early spurt, and now they find themselves with an early lead.
Pretty cool that Felicia Leggett-Jack, the women's coach, has had an opportunity to watch her son in his final year of college basketball. Bummer, though, they had to take off right after their game to get back. They've got a makeup on Monday, so didn't get a chance to stay and watch, but she's been able to take a peek for some of the Buffalo home games. And he's a great addition to Jim Whitesell's team here in 2022.
Well, and when you achieve maybe one of your career dreams or goals of becoming a Division I head coach in college basketball, then to know that, wow, my son's going to play at the exact same school that I'm coaching at, that's pretty special.
Offensive foul called on Segu, pushing off. A lot of fouls starting to build up here on Buffalo. That's their 7th offensive, so it won't be shooting, but Chippewa's in the bonus the rest of this first half.
9:20 on the ticker in the first half. Some whistles early. Got to adjust if you're both teams. They're trying to keep control of this one.
And Miller comes flying into us over here. Can't save it. You all right?
I'm fine. Are you? Are we still on the air? Are we talking? Our monitor's still good.
Everything's good over here.
Coming in here.
Watch this.
Look out,
Look
Ben.
out. Cameraman Ben took a basketball to the face nearly. Segu bounce inside, and the finish from Fagan. And the Bulls right now up by 5, largest lead of the game. Chippewas haven't been able to do much offensively on this end. Basaint, nice spin. No. And Pavret can't get the loose ball. They do get a jump, though, and that'll keep it with CMU. So great fight from Nicholas Pavret.
I thought Fagan was going to rip that one away, and he almost did, but a whistle just before he gets it. And, yes, to answer your question, Buffalo has been excellent defensively. You know, they are just bottling up Central Michigan all over the place. And after an early spurt with some easy buckets, Chippewas have had to work for every single pass.
Miller even there trying to get around two, nowhere to throw the ball. Segu hounding him. The length, too, of Buffalo. You talk about this for years. So many athletes for the Bulls. They typically have an all-defensive team member or the All-MAC Defensive Player of the Year award winner. Got great athletes. That's why they've been the class of the conference over the last 5-6 years.
Seeing this Buffalo team in person now for 10 minutes, how did they lose to Ohio by like 20?
At home, too.
I mean, this is a tenacious group. Maybe it was a little bit of a wake-up call for the Bulls, and maybe now this is the beginning of the next part of their regular season.
One of the worst losses they've suffered at home in a long time. I know, again, Ohio's good, but remember, this Buffalo team was projected to win the conference with how much they have returning. Basaint tries after the miss and scores. Plus, he's fouled. That'll end the 8-0 run and the nearly 4-minute stretch of no points for CMU.
But look at that replay right there. That is what it has taken for Central Michigan to get a bucket right now. Just fighting for everything, tooth and nail. Ralph Basaint rewarded with a hustle play.
Under 8 to play in the first half. Basaint pulls Central Michigan to within 3. Buffalo out in front.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
What's important for me is it sexy? Is it sporty? The controls, the panels, I love the whole display area here. Very crisp, it's laid out nice, it looks hot. The back seat has a ton of room. Hello, 5'10", this is fantastic. I didn't realize this would have a third row of seating. Ooh. The QX60, such a sporty, sexy car.
Back in Mount Pleasant, 7:56 to play, rather. Get my words right here, Matt DeVries. Game 2 for us, and it's showing for me. But the Chippewas and the Bulls battling, and Buffalo, we've talked about it going to break. Their defensive intensity, they've come out ready to go, looking like an aggressive, hungry team that has lost 2 in a row and had to sit for a week plus to come out and play their next game.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it for both teams. If you're CMU, I don't want to be playing Buffalo after a long layoff like that. And if I'm the Bulls, nothing like jumping back in the saddle by playing one of the hottest teams in the conference on their home floor. You did say it, and it's important to remember, third game in 5 days for the Chippewas, and they're going to head on the road right after this one to head down to Indiana next week. So it doesn't stop for them. When you're on a break for a couple weeks, you got to make up the games at some point.
Yeah, but they get an extra day. I mean, 3 days, that's going to be amazing compared to
Wow.
what they have got.
Unbelievable. Take a nap, maybe.
You wonder if the legs maybe play a part in the second half today. Again, something we'll continue to watch as they play their third game in 5 days. And it's all around the conference right now. CMU's going to have those 3-game weeks for the stretch of February after they had a 2-week pause in January. 3 more games next week. Segu on the drive. Pavret says, get out of here.
Segu just trying to get a cheapie here. Driving by Miller, tries to throw it up, but the length of Pavret, a guy that wasn't in the rotation to start the season with the injury to Miro Stoffel, they turned to Pavret, and he's kind of paid some dividends for them.
They found a lineup that's working and a rotation that's gained confidence. Mbala back in with those 2 fouls and has it taken away. So they are pushing the button with him, risking him picking up a 3rd personal. Two-point lead for the Bulls. Central Michigan led by as many as 5 early on. Henderson grazes the bottom of the rim. Segu.
Ooh, yeah.
Didn't want the 3.
Looked like he had a pretty clean look there.
He's a guy that likes to find his teammates. So Nathan Williams, one-on-one step back. A little bit long. And Healy will slow it up.
Despite Buffalo, it certainly feels like the Bulls have dictated everything and dominated this game. We got a whistle. We'll check it out. There's still just a 2-point ball game, Adam. You know, they haven't really pulled away like you might expect. They're just a 12-10 advantage rebounding for Buffalo.
I think that's what's improved there for CMU, that Tony Barbie has harped on the defense, the rebounding, even though at times they aren't scoring as consistently as they'd like, and they've started to score more consistently. That defense keeps them in the game.
Well, and it's markedly improved, right, since the beginning of the season. And I think playing against some of those big-time programs really prepared them.
They got great defense in Western New York as well. Turnover for turnover both ways. Miller pulls up for 2, a little bit short, and now numbers for Buffalo 3-on-2 with Segu leading the charge. Goes in himself and scores.
Williams wanted that one. He wanted to throw it down, but hey, end product is the same. And you can see Segu there face guarding Kevin Miller the entire way down the floor. They want to make Miller's afternoon awful. They want to make him work for everything.
And I think that's going to be the move for most teams when they play him. There's another knockaway, tough entry. And Miller with the foul out in open court. Maybe not the worst thing in the world with the transition. Look at Segu here. 3-on-2, and he just took it himself.
Everyone's just taking a little bit of a breather. This has been high octane. A lot of physicality on the floor. Guys, multiple bodies flying to the glass for rebounds. Good defense from both teams. Hard-fought game so far.
Williams up into a 3. And Stoffel grabs it away from Miller.
Maybe that's why Miller's been able to get some rebounds. Stoffel's not in there to get the rebounds. Now he's got to give them up to the big guy.
Chippewas haven't scored in 2.5 minutes. 1 for their last 5. Basaint short on the pull-up. Nothing going down. Bulls contesting everything. Segu around Basaint. It goes in, plus he's fouled. Slippery Ronaldo Segu.
Great job. Ralph Basaint is just trying not to foul, but I think it's that leg. He's trying to get that knee out to try and disrupt Segu's momentum towards the basket. Now Buffalo's going on another little run here just to try and create a little bit of separation.
Largest lead of the game for Buffalo is 7. Ronaldo Segu has 7. And he scored the last 5 for the Bulls.
Who's been quiet? Cam Healy. They've bottled him up as well. Off-ball screens. He tries to pop open on the perimeter as that sharpshooter for the Chippewas. He's had absolutely nothing today.
Taylor, everything jumper for Central Michigan and typically contested, and they're not going down.
Excellent defensive performance by these Buffalo Bulls so far.
There's a steal from Basaint, and remember, CMU was in the bonus with about 9 minutes to go. Got to try and get something to the basket, you would think, but again, that's not really their game offensively. Kevin Miller pulls up and hits the 2. That ends the drought for the Chippewas of over 3 minutes. Miller's got 9.
I think Josh Mbala is fighting a little bit of a discomfort right now out there on the floor.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
He's fighting some discomfort. Hopefully hopefully that'll subside soon.
They're going to go to him anyway. Jack 1-on-1. Shot clock is at 5. Williams over to Jones to beat it, and he does. Huge shot for the Bulls. And we'll get the media right there with 4 minutes to play. Bulls with their largest lead, up by 8 in Mount Pleasant.
So if Geico's 85, that makes you...
Are you asking if I'm 85 years old?
Sea turtles live to be 150, so... No, I was not.
Geico, saving people money for 85 years.
This is where we sit in early February in the Mid-American Conference. Ohio out in front. Toledo suffered just their second loss late last night in Muncie to Ball State. That's who Central Michigan plays next. Chippewas right now sitting 5th with games to be made up still. And then Buffalo in 6th. Top 8 make the conference tournament. So again, we told you it's early February, but this is a big game in terms of conference standings.
I think we were having some conversations before the game, and you know, Central Michigan getting some wins. Good to get in the win column, but if they were to get a win against Buffalo today, that would be impressive. The way Buffalo plays defense and rebounds the basketball, that one would be a statement win.
And the Bulls are flying around. Another turnover, 9 for Central Michigan. And a shot clock violation. That buzzer is quiet here in the arena, but I don't know if
it didn't reset.
Shot clock reset.
That was a short 30 if that was the case. And I don't know what the fix is here by the officials. I don't know if you put 20 on the clock and give Buffalo the ball back. I don't know how you rectify the situation.
I wonder if they give Buffalo the ball over there in the corner.
That's what Jim Weitzel's saying. Yeah. He's saying we need the ball. It has to be our ball since we didn't have a full shot clock to work with. Divide and conquer. All right, each official, take a coach. Someone go over to the monitor. We'll get this all squared away eventually.
And for CMU, they're saying, listen, they took the shot. They didn't realize the shot clock was down, and it was a miss, but I don't know what you do
Buzzer's
here.
Quiet, no?
Yeah, it is. A little more noise in that.
Yeah, get an air horn out here. Someone with the megaphone sits under each bucket.
Live. Let's go live.
Just a live buzzer. There we go.
Air horn guy, right?
Siren, like a hockey siren.
Yes.
Get one of those.
Have to have it. So I imagine they're just going to have Buffalo take it out with the remaining time on the shot clock. 29-21. The Bulls holding Central Michigan to 36%. While the Bulls are shooting 50% in this first half. And again, it's been that defensive intensity They've got 4 steals in this first half, 9 CMU turnovers.
Buffalo's got 7 of their own. So they're looking to take better care of the basketball as we continue on. But 16 of Buffalo's 29 come in the paint. I mean, that's what you would expect. You know, they've got the bigs, they've got the athleticism inside. That is the advantage that they have over Central Michigan. I mean, shoot, you've got Stoffel, who's just coming off an injury. This is his first game back today. So you've got an advantage inside. Makes sense that that's where the bulk of their scoring is coming from.
And again, for the Chippewas, haven't utilized their inside game a ton. They're more of a jump shooting and three-point shooting team. That's why you see haven't really been able to get to the free throw line, even though they've been in the bonus the last 6 minutes. But the shots aren't falling. 2 for 8 from the outside. So I believe they're going to give this to Buffalo with 16 is what they put on the timer.
So they must have gone back, looked at the monitor, and timed out their possession to that point, and then taken that off the shot clock and give them the ball back. At the end of the day, Buffalo needed the ball back in their possession with some sort of shot clock to work with. So we're back to where we need to be.
And again, CMU's coaching staff saying, listen, they were already going up with a shot. They didn't even realize the shot clock was at 0 because nobody in the gym realized it didn't reset. But the buzzer went off. They had the ball, so they will keep. Can't please everybody, you know?
Rare that both coaches are happy with whatever outcome you get.
No question about that. Shot clock is now low, under 3. Jones contest, and good defensive possession. And Miro Stoffel trying to get to his feet. You hope it's not that knee that he's re-aggravated.
Oh, no. You just hate to see that. First game back. He's only played 6 minutes.
Oh, it's been the story this year for Central Michigan. Illnesses, injuries. And again, that was the Youngstown State game that he went down in December and hasn't played since. I'll check him out, but that might be it for him today. Under 3 minutes to go. Chippewas looking for some points. Basaint attacks. Oh my goodness. He got held and no call. Ralph can't believe it. On the other end, Skogman hits the deck and no call. So they're letting him play on both ends. Here's the look back. Stoffel just had that left knee collapse.
But they're looking at his right leg. They've got the right shoe and sock off over there in the tunnel. So it looks like they're looking at the right ankle from my vantage point. You can see him at the top of your screen right behind the hoop. He's in the tunnel. So we'll have the CMU training staff take a look at him, and maybe he'll be back, and maybe that's it for him today. We'll see.
A lot of physicality in this first half. Officials letting him go. Both ends there. Could have had a potential foul, but officials said, play on. Inside, Henderson. And there's the foul called on Skogman. Harrison Henderson probably thinking, I could have made that one. But I think if you're Central Michigan, this is more of what you want. You got to get it inside if the jump shots aren't going.
Sure, absolutely. And now the storyline continues to evolve. Skogman, Bertram, and Mbala all with 2.
And for CMU, you're thinking, hey, can we get one more of these guys with maybe a third before halftime? I think the Bulls up by 7 here. They're okay with Bertram and Mbala on the bench. Those are the first 2 for Harrison Henderson.
Buffalo's cooled off a little bit here the last couple of minutes. We were sitting at 29-21 for a while. Now Chippewas break that scoreless drought, and still just a 6-point ball game. Nobody's pulling away with this thing.
Feel a tight finish and a good game coming. Jonathan Williams can't hit it, and Healy cleans up the miss. He took a couple of shots, it looked like, from the grimaces on his face.
That's par for the course today.
Yep.
You just got a ton of toughness being shown by a lot of guys out there.
Healy now trying to make him pay on the other end. Basaint puts it back up and in.
Wow. The control in the air by Ralph Basaint to get that offensive rebound. I'm not surprised the Cam Healy 3 goes begging because he is having a really tough time coming open. But Besainth is unboxed out going into the lane to get that rebound, and then he realizes I'm too far away to tip slam this thing. That's his favorite thing to do, is go in and throw it down on an offensive rebound, but still able to get it in. And now Chippewas pull within 4, and Buffalo's kind of sleepwalking right now. Last couple minutes of game time, they haven't got a whole lot going at either end.
Cam Healy now just 1 for 6, 0 for 4 from the outside, but that's, again, kind of what he looked like in the first half against Western Michigan. Then the Chippewas rolled off a big second half. So curious if that comes again. You also think Buffalo, they're going to make some adjustments here at halftime. I think we're in for a really good final 20 minutes, and still 1:43 before we get to halftime in Mount Pleasant.
I think Buffalo's defense has been a wake-up call for Miller and Healy. Healy can't get open off of off-ball screens, and Kevin Miller can't even bring the ball up the floor without Segu sitting in his back pocket.
Segu is just so quick offensively. Finds the creases in the D. Williams up for an open look and makes Central Michigan zone pay.
Guy shoots at 41% from beyond the arc, and he was wide open.
Gets the Bulls their first bucket in a couple of minutes. Lead back to 7. Miller, tough shot. Oh, and that goes down. 11 first half points for Kevin Miller, and they have been some tough twos. Chippewas have gone back and forth in this zone and man throughout the year. See if any of the Bulls want to try and hoist up a 3. Segu so quick. Left it short, but an offensive rebound and a foul called as Fagan went to the deck.
Yeah, that's Henderson. Just getting a lot of arm there of Fagan. And, man, Ronaldo Segu is so fun to watch handle the basketball, much like Kevin Miller is for the Chippewas. It seems to be on a string, change direction, on a dime. I mean, it's just, when you get a ball handler at the point guard spot, it can be a lot of fun.
Segu so short at 6 foot, but so long, right? I mean, that ball is just out away from his body with those long arms that he's got. A 1-and-1 coming. Fagan earns the bonus. And then with the slenderness of Segu, he can weave his way into tight situations. Fun to watch. And as we've seen in this first half, actively defensively on Miller too. Just a real fun player. Second one goes in. Fagan 2 for 2. He's got 5 points, 2 boards, as you see there. Buffalo back in front by 7 here. Final 30 seconds of the first half. CMU just 38% from the floor, 2 for 9 from the outside. Cam Healy'd love to get going, but they have locked him up. Miller out to Taylor straight away. Another miss from deep, 2 for 10, and Jack secures the board. Up ahead, Buffalo looking for one more bucket, and Miller nearly poked it away. 1.6 left.
This would be a huge bucket for the Bulls, and they get Janathan Williams back in the ball game. They want to see if they can get 11 to spot up from 3 on the outside. Huge moment right now. Buffalo gets a 3. Someone pops open. They could go into the locker room up 10.
Largest lead of the game has been 8, but you're right. They get a bucket, 9, 10. They're going to feel real good about their first 20 minutes. Jones looking for somebody. Segu gets open, throws it up, high arcer. And that's tough over the length of Besainth. But a good first half for Buffalo. They're going to take a 7-point, and off we go. Besainth knocks it free. Pretty good defense in that first half from both sides. Buffalo's a little bit better, though. And they got some easier looks inside. And they shot 43% from the floor. And Bala had to sit for a lot of it, too. They'll have him back. Williams out to the top. 3 ball is good from Skogman.
Big shot to start the second half. That was what we were thinking Buffalo might get at the end of the first half at the buzzer, but still, now they find themselves up 10. Tough hill to climb for the Chippewas.
Ralph Basainth tries to answer. The Chippewas have struggled from behind the arc. Kevin Miller in there and couldn't get it to go. I think for CMU, if the shots aren't going to fall again, we'll see if they start to in the second half, but they got to find some ways to get it down low and draw some contact, especially with all three bigs for the Bulls having 2+ fouls.
Yeah, that's it's going to be a key for this group going into the final 20, and you know, got to stay within arm's length, right? You can't let Buffalo go on the first run of the second half.
Segu out the other end. They whip it around the perimeter so fast. And that one knocked away. Good active hands by Healy and this Central Michigan defense. Healy goes up, and Healy didn't get the whistle. Tony Barbie and the staff can't believe there's no foul.
You would have thought there was an earthquake under the Central Michigan bench. I mean, they were just livid that there wasn't a foul in transition, and it's probably what Cam Healy was thinking. I'm just going to drive to the bucket, and I'll probably get fouled.
You saw it. Basainth attack in the first half, no call. That's things. They try and get in there, and there's a foul called. Basainth hits the deck hard.
He was going up for a shot when he gets fouled, and I don't think he has anything to brace his fall. I think he just lands hard on his right side and just needs to take a beat when he gets up.
Ralph Basainth has been quieter these last couple of games offensively, but not today. He's got 8 points. Has struggled at the line this year, 58%. It's the first, though. The first point of the second half for CMU. One for two, and Mbala able to get in front of Pavrette. Zone defense for CMU. Mbala trying to get down the lane. Ball is loose and taken away by Basainth. A couple of turnovers forced by CMU. Basainth goes in. That one blocked off the backboard and will count for 2. So Ralph Basainth into double figures with 11.
We're so lucky to sit where we sit when we call these games, when we're sitting courtside, and I can see the face of Brian Taylor in transition. That's his shoe right there on your screen, and he's thinking, he's looking at Ralph, he's like, hey, throw it up, wants the lob. Basainth makes the correct decision and gets the goaltending call, but Brian Taylor just salivating over a lob try.
Wants the highlight play, right? Williams has that blocked, gets it back though, and pulls it out of there. Some active hands in this second half for CMU. Mbala, tough take. Just not much space in there. CMU has intensified the D.
You can tell. That's exactly right. Out of the locker room, I'm sure Tony Barbie and his staff said we need to be better defensively. Things are too easy for them, and through the first couple minutes, it has been.
Healy on the drive, and it's going to stay down. Sometimes when they're tight on the 3, he can drive it in. That's 4 for Healy, and the Chippewas on a little run here. They've scored the last 5 to pull within 5.
The pass.
And Mbala off the window. Nice touch.
Nathan Williams right there. That's a great look inside to beat the zone. And Mbala, that's what he can do. That's what you miss when he's out of the game with 2 fouls.
I think Mbala was surprised he turned around. No one was on him.
Yeah.
Just throw it up there. 3 for Healy. And they're still not falling for him. Tapped around. Last touch by Central Michigan. Healy 0 for 5 from 3.
Cam Healy was in a bit of a slump until a couple games ago. He's had a couple nice shooting performances, but this is kind of the Cam Healy we saw from 3 weeks ago. You know, when they came back from their COVID break, he didn't seem to have his legs under him. He's trying to shoot his way out of it because he knows his team needs his outside shooting.
And again, 3rd game in 5 days. Wonder if that's playing an impact. Jack get up there, blocked though by Taylor, and a loose ball foul. And that's going to go on Central Michigan. Great effort inside by the Bulls. Again, they're so difficult because they miss a shot. They've got 2-3 glass crashers to go get that offensive rebounds.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes life so difficult. You think you've got good position, and here comes another Buffalo Bull flying in from the side to corral that rebound, and Mbala earned this trip to the free throw line.
And gets the bounce. 7 points for the senior. Third-year transfer from Texas Tech, MAC Defensive Player of the Year and second-team All-MAC selection last year. Averaged a double-double. Can push this lead back out to 9. Misses short, though. Henderson secures. Right in that danger zone for Buffalo, for Central Michigan to make a run. 3 ball from Miller. Oh, heat check ball. He wanted to try and get a bucket in the first minutes of this second half. Williams, though. That comes out. And back and forth we go. Chippewas trying to run in transition. Healy runs in there, has it pinned off the backboard. And Williams has it taken away momentarily by Miller. Scramble back and forth, up and down we go. These two teams getting after it.
Janathan Williams falling on top of you is not fun, and that's exactly what happened with Kevin Miller. He makes a good play to jump in and try and steal the pass before the break can get started, and his reward was 225 pounds falling on top of you.
A 40-pound difference, a little 6 foot, 165-pound freshman Kev Miller. You're going to feel that one tomorrow, huh? Segu steps into a 3. Oh, and Mbala was right there, just out of his outstretched hands.
26-19 advantage rebounding for Buffalo. That number starting to grow.
It was even at halftime. Henderson, good look. The threes just are not there.
2 for 14.
And that's knocked away by Cam Healy. Active hands for the Chippewas. We'll come back, 15:46 to go. We're going to talk with the commissioner of the Mid-American Conference, Dr. John Steinbrecher, is in town when we return on ESPN.
So if Geico's 85, that makes you...
Are you asking if I'm 85 years old?
Sea turtles live to be 150, so... No, I was not.
Geico, saving people money for 85 years.
Back here in Mount Pleasant, Central Michigan and Buffalo battling on a Saturday in early February. Look who came to town, the commissioner, Dr. John Steinbrecher. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. I know you made it out for a football game here in Mount Pleasant and now back here for basketball, and you get a double dip today.
Well, exactly. We got a chance for a doubleheader. Got a chance to see some folks that I haven't been able to spend a lot of time with, so it's been a very productive trip.
How's the 2021-2022 year going for the Mid-American Conference?
You know, it's going. We're getting games in. It's a lot of compressed games now because of rescheduling and stuff, but the teams and coaches are fighting through it and working hard, and got some great competition.
Yeah, we do. Central Michigan and Buffalo battling here 40-32, and I think that's the biggest part as the lob inside for Jack isn't there. That you guys fought through some of the adversity with COVID-19, found ways around it, and great to see the student athletes out there competing again here in 2022.
Well, absolutely, and they've been very resilient.
Yes, they have. Cam Healy gets the 2, makes it 40-34 with 15 minutes to go. Put on your color commentary shoes for us, right?
You know, teams are getting up and down the floor. They're scrapping hard. You can see what coach is trying to do with Central Michigan, you know, get up and down the floor, but then if it's not there, work it. Defensively, they're locked in more than I've seen them in past years. Still got work to do, but you can certainly see the fruits of the first half of the season coming into play.
Yeah, Chippewa's played a grueling non-conference stretch, 1-10 coming into conference play, but now have won 3 in a row. And got to be pretty cool for you. I mean, I know we don't have the West and East divisions anymore in basketball, but the West coaches were there for so long. As Jack goes up there, my goodness, to go throw that one down. Impressive athletic display right there. But new coaches for Eastern and Northern Illinois and Central Michigan trying to put their stamp on the Mid-American Conference.
Absolutely, and it keeps it dynamic. And it's always fun to see what they bring to the mix.
Right now, the Bulls and the Chippewas in an 8-point game. Dr. John Steinbrecher joining us, commissioner of the Mid-American Conference. Healy going to try and drive here. That is pinned off the backboard again. Janathan Williams. And up ahead the other way, Jack is fouled this time. So Buffalo getting out again, utilizing their defense and going to go to the free throw line. Well, what are we looking forward to? Obviously, we got the MAC tournament coming up for both the women and the men, and then how about the spring sports in the Mid-American Conference?
Well, we're about 2 weeks away from starting just a raft of winter sports championships. You know, take your pick. We've got a bunch of them coming up, and then we go right into the spring. Actually, you know, you've got baseball and softball, believe it or not, here starting here in the next week or two, and it's hard to think of that. Indoor track will transition to outdoor track. You got women's lacrosse getting up and running and all those sorts of things. Everybody thinks the fall is the busiest time. It's really this period now from February until end of May, early June. It's a sprint with so many sports.
Yeah, and already got through the fall. What a great football season we had, and the NFL draft is coming up. Going to be very exciting. One, you get at the beginning of the year with the non-conference games. Those were back, and the big display that football is on, and then you go to the NFL draft and see how many of these guys are going to find an NFL home coming up in late April.
Well, and what you find out every year is how many really good players we have in this league.
Taylor driving and a little bit long. Rebound pulled down by Fagan. And again, the Bulls getting out and running. Ooh, look at the Euro from Janathan Williams. And he's going to go back to the free throw line. You wonder why Buffalo, I know they didn't win it last year. Ohio got to the NCAA tournament, made some noise, but Buffalo, it started under Bobby Hurley, and then it's Nate Oates, and now Jim Whitesell, but they just get athletes on this team every single year, it seems like.
They've done a remarkable job of recruiting, and, you know, some of that starts to feed upon itself, and you build upon yourself. And again, they've gone through a series of coaches and maintained a high quality of play. It's not easy to do.
Very impressive from the Bulls. Williams, great player here. And he's into double figures. All right, so what's keeping you busy these days? Obviously with all the sports going on, but tell us what you're up to.
You know, we're trying to get the college football playoff expanded. I really hope we can get it expanded to 12 sooner rather than later. We've got a couple-month window here if we want to get it done really in the next 3 or 4 years. If we don't get it done by early spring, we're probably going to put it on a shelf, and it sits there for another year or two. And that would be really important. The plan in place is too good a plan for us not to move forward. There's a handful of conferences, 3 conferences, that are expressing some concerns, all of which I think are answerable. We'll see how badly people want to get it done. It's too many opportunities for student athletes. So I hope we figure it out.
I think I have the answer, but tell us why it's advantageous and why you want that football playoff expanded to 12.
You know, more opportunities for participation. It brings, keeps more teams relevant later in the season, makes our championship games more relevant. will generate more revenue that we can then invest back in our student athletes. You know, you can keep going down the list. College football has the smallest percentage of teams that participate in a national championship event. It's 3.1% right now, far and away the fewest. If we would go to this 12-team model, still be the lowest, but at least we'll grow up to about 9 or 10%. And that's what the kids want.
Yeah, and I think, too, you make it a 12-team playoff. What's great about college football, Commish, is the regular season is still so important. I still think that matters even if you go up to 12 teams. So you keep the importance of the regular season, and then you add more football at the end.
Well, that's the beauty of this model, because I was always afraid if we expand the playoff, are we going to devalue the regular season? In fact, we've increased the value of the regular season, because one of the unanticipated consequences of the current format is that after about the first month, we only focus on about 10 or 12 teams nationally. If we would expand it, we would get into November and still be focused on 45, 50, 55 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to bring more coverage to everybody, equal it out a little bit. Right now, the Bulls having their way with the Chippewas 47-34. Stoffel cutting the bucket, and another block, this one by Fagan. And CMU just really having issues with that Bulls length. CMU going to get it back. Well, certainly hope we can get that college football playoff expanded. Excited to see what comes about. How much are you involved in that process?
Better part of my life is involved in that process right now. One of the 10 commissioners that really manages the event.
Yeah.
We were signatories of it. And so we'll see where that goes. And then really the other thing we're focusing on is getting people to Cleveland and having a great basketball championship in Cleveland and welcoming people back to the field house and just having a great event for the fans and the players.
And I know Central Michigan, Buffalo both hoping they can get there. Chippewas didn't get a chance to go last year, but no fans. That won't be the case this year. Basaint for three. There one goes down. CMU was 0 for 4 in this second half. And that maybe will get CMU going. 10-point game with 12 minutes to play. Chippewas were down for the majority against the Broncos on Thursday before they came back. This Buffalo team just so tough. Skogman misses, but gets his own rebound. The three ball up and missed from Bruton. And now it's Williams. Buffalo just so difficult on the glass, creating a third opportunity and another chance before Pavret pulls it down. You think you can hang with these guys out there on the floor? The way they get up and down?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh. It's like they get better and better every year. Step back from Miller. A little bit short. And we get a jump ball, or I think a jump ball. Well, thanks so much for stopping by, Commish. Great to see you, and looking forward to seeing the end of the basketball season and beyond.
Great to be with you.
We'll be right back. Back here in Mount Pleasant, appreciate the commissioner of the Mid-American Conference, John Steinbrecher, stopping by. Tough act to follow, man. Welcome back.
In danger of being replaced?
Yeah, he had some great analysis for us.
I mean, there were a couple plays that I probably would have come out of my chair on some of these blocks, and I don't know if the doctor was maybe as flamboyant as I might have been on the air, but I'm sure he had lots of good things to say.
Yeah, he's really involved in the college football playoff, talking about trying to get that expanded to 12 teams, and said they're hoping they got a small window here. They can get it done soon to try and get things moving forward. Certainly would help the Mid-American Conference bring in more revenue and give more teams an opportunity to be in it at the end of the season.
I may be asking you a question you don't have the answer to. How involved is he? Is he on the committee? Or
literally asked him that question. He said, yeah, he's very engaged. One of the commissioners that is very involved in it. So
cool.
He's keeping busy with that.
He's been charged with leading our league for a long time, and he's done an excellent job. So kudos to him.
13 years for Dr. John Steinbrecher, and again, coming out for a couple games in Mount Pleasant today. We appreciate him stopping in. 47-37, Buffalo leading with 10:50 to go. Bruton goes right up, Pavret blocks it, and last touch by Buffalo. Well, in that last sequence, we had multiple Buffalo blocks. We had multiple Central blocks. The defenses are out today in McGurk Arena.
And I see a replay like that in college basketball in 2022. I don't know how you don't call a foul there on Pavret. I like that he's rewarded for going up straight and just trying to block the shot, but there was just a lot of contact on that play.
And that's going to be last touch by Brian Taylor. So right back, Bruton. And that's kind of been the story of this game. Buffalo and CMU both playing good defense, but it's been more Buffalo causing that havoc. Now, Bulls have 13 turnovers to CMU's 12, but they've found a way to get some more looks. Each team scoreless over the last couple of minutes. There's that little run in the end of the first half, and that's been the difference still. Jones got it, and it's back to a 13-point game. Ten minutes to go. Does CMU have anything left? Try and get back into this one, or is it going to be all Buffalo? That's a tough shot right there. It's kind of been the story today for CMU. They are shooting just 4 for 17, 23% in this second half. Up for three, and an offensive rebound for Hardnett. Back out, and that three falls in. 16-point lead for the Bulls.
Yeah, this was coming. Buffalo has come out of the locker room with a ton of energy, a ton of fight, and you can see it on the floor. They're getting after it, and Tony Barbie's seen enough.
And Chippewas just look gassed and kind of surprised right now. There's the dunk from Skogman. We saw a couple of them. Jack had a big one. All Buffalo, 9:15 to go. 53-37 in Mount Pleasant.
What is an overpass? Come on.
Nobody wants more robot tests, but we could all use more ways to save.
The QX60 totally fits my vibe. This is a bossy automobile. Oh, wow. Wireless charging. Fabulous. With this, you can just pop your phone right here. That's so fantastic. Massage settings. This just in. Relaxing. The lumbar. Yes, please. Oh, yeah. Then you could do all your phone calls here.
Oh, we got to shout out our crew today. They're working extra hard. Game 2 in Mount Pleasant. Tyson, Logan, Edward, couple Bens with us. Kat and Carlos in the back. Drew and Ava all making sure We're on the airwaves today, all led by Andrew, our fine producer and director here at Central Michigan. Matt, we are pretty lucky with how talented these young men and women are, putting us on the air and showcasing the Central Michigan broadcasting program and bringing you these men's and women's games throughout the winter.
I would guarantee you there are a lot of people out there in Chippewa country that watch these games and don't realize that it's all students that put these games on, and that's a credit to their ability. So we're very fortunate and we're very lucky at Central Michigan. We have a very proud and strong broadcasting program that you can enroll in when you come here, and some of the next best and brightest in the broadcasting world come right out of here in Mount Pleasant, and we're extremely proud of that.
And pretty cool that two former broadcast students, Andrew and Matt, run the program, and happy to have them here in Mount Pleasant and have you joining us as well, thanks to the students' hard work. All Buffalo, they're working hard, up 16 on Central Michigan. That's a tough take, and Jones, everything going Buffalo's way right now, and they are showing you why they were the projected favorites to win the regular season and the tournament in the Mid-American Conference here in 2022.
Well, entering play today, they had lost 2 in a row. They were sitting at 4-2. Kevin Miller gets a nice finish at the rim, but now they had fallen to 500 at 4-4, 10-8 overall. But I think that 8-day layoff has served as a nice reset for their season. Get a chance to get a few days off maybe, get some lifting in, get a couple practices in the gym before they came out here to Mount Pleasant. And I think this is probably going to end up being the springboard for Jim Weitzel heading into the stretch run of this regular season.
And again, a bad matchup for CMU on Game 3 in 5 days, when a Buffalo team makes you work offensively with the way they move their feet and active hands, force a lot of jump shots, legs are a little tired. Chippewas aren't going to make the excuse, but you look at the numbers, 3 for 16 from 3. That's a credit to Buffalo. And I think that's a little bit of tired legs as well for the Chippewas. There's a travel. And it'll be interesting. Now still 8 minutes to go. Certainly a chance for a comeback here, but if Buffalo wins this one, Central Michigan drops their first one in 4 games. They got to go right back out, play a tough Ball State team. Ball State took down Toledo late last night, and Muncie. I mean, this league is still wide open with a month to play.
Yeah, we'll get a look at each team's next 5 coming up a little bit later in the show, the upcoming schedules, but it doesn't get any easier for either of them. And Buffalo is walking proof of you can be on your home floor jacked up for a game against Ohio and get punched in the mouth. So I mean, you have to bring it every single night in this league, and safe to say the Bulls are ready to go off the bus today.
Healy from the corner, tough angle. Looked like he was behind the backboard there. Loose ball, Webb creates it, gets it, and that one looked like it was blocked in the net. I wonder if Fagan got away with one. He went up, blocked that. His hand was in the net. I don't think they saw it. Either way, Buffalo ball, they're in charge, up by 15 in Mount Pleasant with just under 8 to play. Take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Buffalo Bulls. Coming off 2 straight losses against the top 2 teams in the conference. Looks like they're on their way to a win here in Mount Pleasant. Then they get Eastern Michigan, Ball State, as we just talked about, took down Toledo, then on the road before they get another one against Western Michigan. Full month of action here before we head into March and that conference tournament.
Well, to be blunt, there's no Ohio, there's no Toledo, there's no Akron, there's no Kent State on that schedule. Ball State is sitting in 6th position in the standings. That's the highest ranked MAC team on that upcoming 5. So I think it's safe to say Buffalo's got an opportunity here. Over the next 2.5 weeks, you might be looking at the Buffalo Bulls near the top of the Mid-American Conference standings if they play like they've played today. They have brought the energy and they've brought tenacity to this floor, and they've really taken it to Central Michigan.
They've been the rebounding leaders in the NCAA over the last couple of years, and they're flexing their muscles again today. 38-23, Buffalo lead in that category. And they're holding Central Michigan to just 31% from the floor. Incredible defensively. Seguin steps in, a little bit long. There's Hardnett working for it. Volleyballs around and comes to Miller. Healy in transition. Just can't get one to go. Short on that attempt. And he's 0 for 6 today.
Man, 3 for 14 from the floor. Tough sledding for Cam Healy. Nice block over the top.
Henderson, after Basainth got in there. And Healy was 0 for 7 at NIU before he came home. Hit 6 on Tuesday against Bowling Green. Hit 3 against Western. And Basainth got a piece of it. Henderson got a piece. Nice work by those guys, keeping it clean. Largest lead for the Bulls has been 18. Bruton drives. Fagan the dump off, and easy 2.
Yeah, not trying to make any excuses for anybody. Tough for Central Michigan to face Buffalo at the end of a long week, but we've said a lot based on the kind of the COVID situation and their season so far with the way they played so many top-end opponents in the country, Adam. We didn't really know what Central Michigan was under Tony Barbie just yet. We've gotten enough of a sample size in conference play. I certainly don't think they're near the bottom. I think they're in that mid-tier of Mid-American Conference opponents where I think the Chippewas are going to be able to be right in the discussion here in the last month.
Everything going their way. Williams has it knocked away, comes right back to him, and he gets fouled. We're looking at a Buffalo sweep here coming into Mount Pleasant. Women got the win earlier today. Heather Osterly's squad fought very hard. And then it was a fourth quarter that was dominated by Felicia Leggett-Jack's squad. And now here, Jim Whitesell's team off of full week of rest, couple losses. Poised to get back in the win column, up by 20 with 6.5 to play. Chippewas still trying to fight their way and get back into this one. It's tough for them to get any offense going. They're running it here from half court. Taylor drives and fouled. They're going to get Keyshawn Bruton. Bulls just came out. They look like they have a ton of energy, and then they went into play.
And everything is just in your face. I mean, the way they play defense, you're seeing it right there. Just a simple action trying to get Brian Taylor the ball coming off the elbow, and he's got a defender right on his hip, and Seguin is in Kevin Miller's grill the entire time. They are just an annoying team to play offense against because they're so locked in defensively all the time.
Buffalo kind of changed that when they went on their run with Bobby Hurley and now into Nate Oates. Bobby Hurley, how good offensively they were. Remember 2015, that MAC championship game was that high-scoring game in the 90s. Then Nate Oates came in and said, yeah, we're going to have a great offense and score quick, but we're also going to play excellent defense as well. Williams drops into 3. Got to be a complete team in the Mid-American Conference. Toledo defends tough. Same thing with Ohio. And you're seeing it right now, Central Michigan. The gap of Tony Barbie and his staff, what they want to get to. Buffalo's certainly the pinnacle of that as he tries to build this program in Mount Pleasant.
Well, and the thing is, Jim Whitesell was inheriting a team coached by Nate Oates. I mean, that's at his quality. Nate Oates now leading, of course, Alabama in the SEC. But Tony Barbie is trying to change a culture here. He's trying to instill defense and rebounding with the roster that was in place here in Mount Pleasant, and you know he's been open about it. He's He's trying to find the best guys he can to fit his system here in Mount Pleasant. He's going to try and do that again this year. Brought in guys like Cam Healy and Harrison Henderson, guys that will only be here for one season. Ralph Basaint stuck around, is a senior this year, but it's going to be an evolution. Weitzel's in his 3rd year leading this Buffalo program. Tony Barbie's only coached 18 games.
And again, it's a little bit easier, I think, now to try and win quicker with the transfer portal because you have a larger pool of guys that have Division I experience, but you still have to build up your culture. You still have to find the right pieces. And for Tony Barbie to get hired in late April, it's a quick turnaround. And his team, we've seen progress. But again, as you mentioned, year 3 of a program of Whitesell that was continued off of Nate Oates. That was continued after Nate Oates got elevated from Bobby Hurley. They've been rolling now for a decade in Western New York. And Buffalo on their way to a 12th straight win against Central Michigan. Taylor, the drive, has it knocked away. We'll stay with CMU. Shot clock at 4.
When you look at the roster that Buffalo's built, Segu, a senior, 4-year player in the program, and you've got Williams, who's been in the program a long time as well, but Mbala, a transfer. They don't all have to be transfers all the time. Shot clock violation there. Maceo Jack, transfer out of George Washington. So there are different ways you can construct a program at the mid-major level. And it's just finding that right mix. Do you go transfer portal first and then fill in with high school recruits after that? Or do you go the high school route first and fill in with transfer portal? There's no right or wrong way to do it. You just got to find 12 to 15 guys that fit what you're trying to do.
They're going to look at this and I think get the shot clock changed around because Buffalo had possession, tried to save it, and then it went to CMU. Shot clock never reset, so it timed out. I imagine it's going to go back to 20 seconds, or 30 seconds, excuse me. So CMU gets the ball. Good job by the officials to come together, get that correct. Once you get that full possession, it's considered a change of possession, which then should reset the shot clock.
You got it.
Trying to figure it out,
Sounded like you were reading out of the rule book.
Never. Put me to sleep reading that thing. Taylor. And that's going to be a foul call. You sit there and read the new rules, the college basketball rule book before each season, right?
Do you want the honest answer or do you want the TV answer?
No, I want the honest answer.
I do not. No, I do not.
I don't think anybody does.
That's for Jeff Spadowski and his boys to do.
That's where the officials come over at the beginning of the season, help out us TV guys, and say, hey, just so you know, the rule changes this year are da-da-da-da-da.
It was a couple of weeks ago. It was halftime, and one of the officials came over to us, and he said, how did I do in the first half? And I said, you were all right. There was that one that I think you could have changed, and he's like, I can't do that anymore. The rule changed. I was like, oh, no kidding. Well, that's good.
You're right. Yeah, I read that in Chapter 3 earlier this year.
No, I had no idea. He's probably looking at me like this dummy on TV's calling me a goof.
These guys don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't give away our secret, man.
I know. We put on a nice facade.
You're going to get a lane violation redo here. It's a lot of work for these officials because these rules have changed. Every year there's different changes, and even so, the emphasis on more touch fouls and, arm bars and that type of thing. Then the changes with the, yep, exactly. The block charge is always difficult. Shot clock has changed over the last few years. Three-point line has changed. I mean, it's a game that's ever evolving, certainly, and the officials, they're ready to go each season. Bulls in control, up by 22. Make it 25 as Williams keeps pouring it on. He's got 19. Check it, he's got 16 here, but still, big game. Inside, taken away, and up ahead, Segu in front of Healy. And the Bulls are rolling 70-43 in Mount Pleasant. Basainth. Ooh, nice move, and that's going to fall in. Bala's going to get the foul. He's saying, what did I do? Great athleticism from Basainth. Learning moment for the Chippewas today. It's been all Buffalo. Janathan Williams, 19 as he hits another triple from the outside. 4th of the game. Upcoming schedule for Central Michigan. They're going to continue the 3 games in a week. Ball State on Tuesday. They get the conference leaders in Ohio, the defending champs, on Thursday. And then we'll head back to battle Western Michigan for the second time in essentially 2 weeks. They're getting all they can handle from the Buffalo Bulls today. 70-45 with 3:37 to play. If you're just stopping in to watch Central Michigan for the first time this year, not indicative of how they've played over the last 3 games. And again, I think the maturity of Buffalo and their defensive tenacity has caught up to the Chippewas, along with playing 3 games in 5 days. That's why you're looking at a lopsided score. You give all the credit, though, to the Bulls. They came in here ready to go after 8 days off.
Yeah, you look at the playing group. Hardnett Jr., and then Bruton Sr., Sagu Sr., Williams Sr., Jack Sr., Mbala Sr., Bertram and Fagan, graduate seniors. I mean, just veterans up and down the roster, and that's why you'd maybe want to bet on Buffalo here down the stretch, finding a rhythm and really starting to play some really good basketball.
Bounces continue to go their way. Look like Central Michigan had a steal. Bulls' athleticism and length goes up to grab it, gets an easy 2. And it's a 27-point difference. Again, it won't be easy going into Muncie on Tuesday after they're coming off a win against Toledo late last night.
That? Wow. I mean, Ball State, you told me that when we walked in today. I hadn't seen the scores, and I'm like, Toledo? Wow. Really impressive.
And Bala up ahead, blocked there by Henderson, but again, perfect right into the waiting hands of Fagan. That one was on late pass, maybe some people's bedtime last night. Started at 9 o'clock down there in Muncie.
Hey, Central time down there. They're Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's late night action after dark down there at Worthen Arena. It's a great facility down there. Chippewas will head down to take on James Whitford and crew. We talked about Kevin Miller being a potential freshman candidate of the year and all-MAC freshman team. Wait until you see the big fella that Ball State has. True freshman. He's good. Averaging nearly a double-double.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Ball State and Chippewas trying to see how they respond, and I'm really looking forward to keeping up with Buffalo here these next couple weeks. They've got a chance to really right the ship, and that record sitting at 500 right now, I'm telling you, it might look a lot different in 2-3 weeks.
And kind of a bummer. They're supposed to play twice, CMU and Buffalo. Would like to see if Central Michigan can if they get any better and can compete a little bit better with the Bulls later in the year, but don't know if they're going to be able to make up that game because they're going in order of the postponements, and the Bulls CMU game was later on. Basainth in the corner for three, hits one. Ralph Basainth having a good game for CMU. He's got 16. So this could be the only meeting of the year. And then we'll see if both teams, Buffalo certainly looks like they're going to get to Cleveland. Chippewa's hoping to as well. Maybe they would meet there. Subs have checked in for the Bulls. Blocker way off, but an offensive rebound by Perry. We'll drive on Basainth, and that comes off. Offensive tips. Bala can't get to it, and cleared by Healy.
I know we just had the commission on this afternoon. Curious to get your take. Do you like that the only the top 8 go to Cleveland now? It kind of makes the regular season worth a little bit more, no?
Miller kick out to Taylor. Good move. Think he should have just taken it. No, they'll get the hop. Yeah, I like the top 8. It was top 8, and then the bottom would get the conference games or get the playing games to the tournament. But
yeah, the host sites on campus on Monday.
I think that makes the regular season. We talk about college basketball and the fact that March is the important time of the year and you love the tournament, but I like that it makes the college regular season and the regular season conference schedule a little bit more meaningful.
I'm with you. I think earning your way to Cleveland, and then you get a little bit of a break. The regular season will wrap up on that Friday night, Friday, Saturday, depending on TV assignments and things. So you get a chance to kind of have a break, collect yourselves, get down to Cleveland on Tuesday or Wednesday, and buckle up for the top 8. I really like it.
Harrison Henderson going in, got blocked. He's going to go to the free throw line, 10 seconds to go. Chippewa still fighting hard here. Miller, another game in double figures, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, but for the most part, kept him in check after he had 11 of those 14 in the first half. Leader for the Chippewas, Basainth with 19. On the other side, Williams, 19 points. Mbala had a quiet game, 7 points, 6 rebounds, but he was fighting through foul trouble. And then you had 11 from Segu, 10 from Jack, 11 more from Fagan.
4 in double figures, and Ralph Basainth had 19 and really had himself a pretty nice day. 7 of 14. You know, it's tough. You know, Buffalo's going to do this to a few teams this month.
They came ready to play today in Mount Pleasant after a couple of losses. Buffalo comes into Mount Pleasant and dominates Central Michigan 74-54. Chippewa's 3-game winning streak is over, but again, they have played and become a part of this conference race. Chippewa's